I honestly think that no matter how many videos I create, no matter how many topics I go over, no matter how many times I change my channel, which I'm still gonna keep the whole challenge to change because it started this week, I honestly don't think I'll probably change many people's minds on my topic. And I think that was really kind of obvious to me when I made a lot of these atheist and the burden of proof topic videos. I believe no matter what information I put out in these videos, people won't necessarily change their mind because of that information. And honestly, I see the same thing with my dietary law videos, and in a sense with any video I create. Let me be clear. I have no issue with someone disagreeing with what I'm saying in the video. I have no problem with someone making fun of an argument, disagreeing for an argument, as long as you understand what the argument is. A lot of times when I present this information out there, generally a lot of individuals would look at the title and judge based off that title, not in what I say. Or when I have conversations with other people, a lot of times people do not know what I'm saying. I think that the hard thing about it is that I have a problem, especially way early on, it was way worse than this, that I kind of expected that, hey, if you give information out there, if you give people a position, a point to bring out, they will look at it, they could criticize that position right there, and then they'll, a little more rational conversation in a sense. Early on with making these videos, I was fine having a lot of these online streams and offline talks with people. I'm not as much eager because it's just the whole idea of that, well, what information I put out there, a lot of times people would argue with me about a take, which is, I think it's a simple take to make, but it's not the take that I created in a sense. A lot of times if I say, hey, 2 + 2 is 4, I have people argue with me in a sense that, hey, well, the color red is not a color, for example. That was a wild example, but it's the idea that what information I put out there, people argue something that I never said, or argue something that has nothing to do with my position. And I think if you want to have a rational conversation with me or anybody in life, you kind of have to understand what they are saying in a sense. You have to argue against the point they are saying. I'm not saying I don't do this. I'm saying that, in general, we should try to understand what someone is saying before we try to argue against their point. And I said before, even though I plan on still making these videos in a sense, there were a few people who would look at my position like, wow, I never thought about this. Like, if you actually look at your whole position, it makes sense. Few, like 10. And I think my mindset with that is, if I have people who watch my position and agree or disagree, if they understand my position, I'm way more at ease with, I'm way more like, okay, understandable than just trying to fight against people or argue against people that would misrepresent what I'm saying. Overall, I just ask that you understand what I am saying first before you try to argue against the title of the video or argue what you think I'm saying, or for anybody or any video. So I got, I feel like I say this every time, or I don't like saying this, like, subscribe, comment. That's all I got.